Good morning. Happy Monday morning, everyone. I am just back from vacation. We got back last Thursday. We spent 2 weeks, did a road trip to Oregon, and had a fabulous time. We spent a lot of really good family time with my son and his lovely girlfriend, Dana. So with Josh and Dana, we got to spend some time with them. They're staying on a little coastal town in Oregon. We were pretty much out of the smoke while we were there, which was awesome. So we were kind of tucked into this little river valley, and it was awesome. We could literally sit and watch the sunset over the river every day, and it was so nice to get away and feel a little bit normal in this year, right? I mean, this year's not felt normal. There's been nothing about this year that's felt normal. And it felt normal. And so that was really lovely. We ate some good meals. We laughed a lot. We went crabbing. We were catching crabs in a boat. It was really, in fact, we ate really well off of those crab in the last week. So it was really fun. And this morning, it's Monday morning, and I know I have hundreds of emails to go through, and I have lots of to-dos on my list that I need to get through, but I thought I would jump on here this morning. I've got my Choose Your Happy cup going here, and I've got my cup of coffee. So grab your cup of coffee. And what I would love to chat about today is we watched the movie Social Dilemma this weekend. And I think it's a movie that we all should watch. It's one of those movies that perhaps wakes us up. I mean, I think 2020 is all about waking us up anyway. And I think that when we are waking up to what it is in our world that we need to be in tune to, this is one of them. Social media is certainly one of them. And I think this movie, Social Dilemma, really points out some challenges of what we're getting pulled into and how we're feeding off of the stories, the reactions that we have personally, how that impacts our energy on a day-to-day basis. And what is it doing to our world from a divisiveness perspective? And I think that's a big part of it for me, is really looking at it from a divisiveness perspective, because I see this happening, and that divide is getting bigger, right? I mean, it's to me time that we start really being mindful about how we leverage social media. How do we use social media? And I want to start with is I love social media. When I think about who I'm in connection with, many of you, I would not even know if it was not for social media. I'm in connection with people that I have known, since my childhood, that, I would have lost touch with, but I'm still in touch with them because we're able to stay up on each other's lives because of social media. So there's a lot of things about social media that are really good. And there's a lot of things about social media that can be really dark. And I think the movie Social Dilemma really points that out. When I think about what I don't like about social media, I'm actually just going to look at a couple notes here. When one is the addictiveness of it, right? The addictiveness, and I can totally, it's interesting. I have a new phone, and I hadn't turned off the ringers on my phone and the notifications. And so I was hearing especially after we watched this movie, I was hearing the beeps and the rings and the bells. And I was starting to notice just how I responded to that, right? I wanted to go, I wanted to go listen to it. I wanted to go pick it up and see what it was. So one of the things I did this weekend was I turned off all my notifications on my phone so that I don't get those beeps. So that addictive piece of it. And how often do I pick up my phone and just mindlessly scroll through it? So starting to be aware of that, right? And then the divisiveness of it. And, I think that there's untruths that are being spread. There's the divisiveness because there's computer algorithms on the back, really paying attention to what we click through. And so starting to be mindful about how we click through things. I think that was another piece of this. And then the relationships that are broken down. And I personally have had some very important relationships in my world break down because of social media. And I want you to pause for a moment and think about, do you have some personal relationships that are not as strong as they were because of social media. To me, that's a big fail on how I am using social media. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I am shifting some things up. So patterns that I've seen all really evolve around these three aspects: the addictiveness, the addictiveness, the divisiveness, and then the relationships that are breaking down. So those are pieces that I see patterns in my own life. And I invite you to really look at the patterns you see in your life. They could be completely different. One of my patterns and I've tried to break this over the years, where I get up and I look at my phone first thing, and I look on my email, I look on Facebook, and I am declaring that I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm making that declaration. Some other patterns that I've seen is just how I'll use social media as a kind of a way to numb out. And, like I'll be watching TV and I'll just be constantly flipping through. And when you start to look at the clicking patterns associated and how, when we click through things, and there's an algorithm in the backside of that capturing all of that, and you start to think about, well, how is this impacting, how is this impacting what I'm seeing in my feed? And what are the things that trigger me, that make me angry? And those are the kinds of energies that I don't want to be in an angry energy. I want to be in an uplifting. I want to be inspired. And there's so much in social media that I do get inspired by. So I'm really going to be mindful about what it is that I'm clicking on, so that I can start to choose things that make me feel good. And I'm going to be aware of what am I feeling in those moments. And if I'm getting angry, if I'm getting triggered, perhaps that's not a place that I want to spend. So I'm going to really be mindful before I actually click on something. Even I'm going to be mindful about the ads that are popping up, right? I mean, it's like, you can see it. You looked at something online and suddenly you see all of these ads, and they're like, that algorithm is in the background going, oh my gosh, she's interested. Keep sending her these things. Don't click, right? Video and audio is stuck. Oh, great. Thanks, Liz, for that. Let me just click roll through. If there's anything that I can do here. Well, I'm going to just keep going here and see. Liz, tell me if anybody else has seen that it's stuck, please let me know. That would be great if you'd let me know if anybody else sees that it's stuck or if it's coming through. I'm going to keep trying here. And Liz, let me know if it still continues on your end. I can't tell if it's your end or my end. So those are some things that I'm really starting to look at here, right? I'm looking at the patterns that I'm doing, about mindful choices that I make, and it really starting to set up some boundaries for myself and replacing things during those times in a way that it's more joyful, right? Oh, good, thanks, Liz. And so replacing things with topics that are ways to spend my time that are more mindful. So getting up in the morning instead of looking at my phone, what is more mindful? Well, more mindful is picking up my journal and writing. More mindful is going outside and sitting and enjoying the birds. Or yesterday I had 2 fawns outside my yard. I mean, it's just things like that. What are the things that really, choose your happy, right? Choose your happy. What makes you happy? So these are topics that I am going to be really looking at and really thinking about, how do I use social media for good, right? This is the using social media for good, creating lightness, helping others be uplifted. If I'm lifting up people up and helping them see things in a more expansive way, or am I making people angry? And I don't want to make people angry. I want to lift people up, and I want them to get beyond this energetic state that we've been in and to step out of it, to blossom out of it. And so that's really what I'm going to be looking at. and how do I bring value? So these are things that I'm personally going to be doing, and these are topics that I want to have with you all. And to me, when the litmus test is going to be, if before I make a post, before I make a comment, is it about community? Is it about connection? Is it lifting people up? That's the litmus test I'm going to be doing. And this is such an important topic right now. This is the topic we're going to cover on tomorrow night's Extraordinary Women Connect event. It's a virtual event. I love having these virtual events because people can attend from anywhere. And we're going to get into meaningful discussions around how we leverage social. So we're going to, if you've watched Social Dilemma, you'll be able to participate from that perspective. If you haven't watched it, you'll still be able to participate in it because it's part of our world. And then the connection and the community, and that's what Extraordinary Women Connects about, right? It's all about connecting great women to great women and then having meaningful conversations. So what an important topic to be having this conversation on tomorrow night. So I'd like to invite you all to join us tomorrow night at 4 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. The link is in the comments of this, and I'll come back and put it in the comments here. It's in the notes above this video, and then I will also put it in the comments after this video is over. But join us tomorrow night from 4 to 5:30. We're going to have we're going to do some breakout sessions around these topics, around social media, how we're using it, how you want to be using it. What are there any shifts that you want to leverage in how you leverage social media? What's your intentions around using social media so we can become more mindful about it? I mean, I know that I personally have not been as mindful as I wanted to. So this is an opportunity to really to raise that up. And then we're going to talk about what if we're pulling back a little bit. 6 p.m. Eastern. So we'll love to have you join us there, Liz. And what I would and then what we'll close with is if we're taking some of that social media time away, like I'm going to be doing, what can you be replacing it with that brings you joy? Because that's elevating how you are showing up in the world, in your life, in your business. It's so powerful to be able to do that. So I hope you will join us tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. That would be 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And would love to see you all there. I think this is going to start. I think this conversation just needs to be had. And I keep seeing posts around this movie, Social Dilemma. So many of you have seen the movie and you're alarmed about it. And this is an opportunity to come together and really discuss this in greater depths, discuss how we do good with social media. And that's what I'm excited about. So I'm super, super excited about that tomorrow. And we will be seeing you soon. I'm glad I got lots of emails to dig into today, but I'm glad I got to jump on here and say hello and just be back, right? I mean, I'm excited to be back and dig in because I've got lots of good things that I'm working on right now. So good to talk to you guys, and spread the word about this event tomorrow night. If you know anybody who's watched the movie and is, I've seen so many posts around this and they're wanting to have conversation on it, invite them to it. And it can be men, it can be women. Just let's have the great conversation around this. So see you tomorrow. Bye.